Welcome back, Wogglers. So today we're going to talk about sign-up forms here in Zoho Campaigns. All right, so on the left-hand side, you're going to go into contacts, interestingly enough, and then from there, sign-up forms. Okay, so we'll create a new one together. Sign-up forms are, in the grand scheme of things, they're pretty simple, right? They're little forms you have on your website that basically just collects information, and not a lot of information. Let me show you. So first thing you're going to do is you do have to start from a template. So you're going to choose your template. Now you got a couple of options here. Right up at the top, you've got your embedded form options. You've got your pop-up form options and your library. If you had gone through and already created a template sign-up form and saved it as a template, you can go to your library and grab your saved template and just plop it in, right? That works really great if you want to have the same sign-up form. It looks all the same and all that kind of jazz, and maybe put it in slightly different spots around your website. But let's go through embedded forms first. One of the things to remember is we've got some really cool templates in here starting off, but if you scroll down, you can get to some really basic ones, join our newsletter, email and name. When you're working with the shorter forms, the compact forms and the banner forms, it does not give you the option to customize the fields that you're putting in there. For the long forms, it will allow you to put in some customized fields. However, sign-up forms you should think of as getting very limited information. You're just getting a name and an email address, so you can add those leads to a list and then campaign to them, right? If you really want to have a longer intake form, for example, that you want people to be able to fill out or get access to on your website, you should use Zoho Forms. And we'll do some videos on Zoho Forms. Stay tuned. But yeah, so these are really going to be gathering not a lot of information is my point, right? Okay, so you got your compact form, some really cool stuff. You got your banner form. These are just kind of like, they're a banner, so they're long and skinny. And then you have your long forms, which, again, they just have more than just name and email as a piece of information you can gather. And then your pop-up forms. Now, everybody's familiar with a pop-up, right? So we've got your standard pop-up, and then you have your blanket pop-up. This was going to cover, I'm sure you've experienced this before when you're on a website and then all of a sudden your entire screen turns to something else. It's a blanket pop-up is what that's called. If you may have been able to glean, I don't really like these, but I don't like them as a consumer. I get how they could be useful in terms of like from a marketing perspective, but it's not my personal preference. If I'm going to have a pop-up, my personal preference is to be able to use a standard. All right, so that's enough about all the different templates. Really, just have fun. You can get in here, you can grab one, and you have the ability to customize it. So I'm going to use this one because it looks a lot of fun. All right, very simple. Name and email. Easy peasy. Now, you've got your page body, which is actually a background image. This is this lovely little image with these great little triangle shapes on top of different colors. You do have the ability to change this, so if you wanted it to be a different image, perhaps from your library, you can change that. And then you've got your background color, which we can again change. And then you've got your border. We can do a solid border, or you can put a different color on there and make it wider. You can change the width and the height. Have fun with it. All right, so that is the form body. Then you have your input field for email. You can say email, or you can say your email. And it shows up over here. Perfect, looking good. You got your name. And this one you just put, last name if you want. And the reason that I'm making that distinction is if we jump over to setup real quick, this will show where you want your name field to be mapped to. So if you prefer having first name, you can map it to your first name so when somebody fills it out, their first name will get put into the first name field in your lead record, or your contact record, here in Zoho Campaigns, or last name. If unfortunately there's not really a way to map a single field to both name fields, so you have to pick one. So I would recommend whichever one you're going to have it mapped to, you designate it, or you're going to get a bunch of leads with the last name of like Jessica. So anyway, all right, so button is join now, or like, get our newsletter. Woohoo! Looking great. And then there is an error message, which you do have the ability to customize. So please correct the marked fields below. You can change the color of the font. You can change the color of the background. You can make it have a border or dotted or dashed, all sorts of fun things there. Like I said, just go and have fun with it. And then once you are happy with it, you can click Save and Proceed. If you're not, you can always go back in and edit your design. So if you save and proceed because it's the end of your workday, but you're not finished doing it, don't worry. This sign-up form hasn't been, it's not on your website already, right? So you just save it, you can come back the next day and continue and get it where you want it first. All right, so from there, we can associate this with a specific mailing list. So since I said get our newsletter, you can associate it with a mailing list that's like newsletter mailing. You can create a new one. We'll call it newsletter. So anybody that fills out this form will automatically be assigned to the newsletter mailing list. And the associated topic, if you haven't watched my video about topics, please go and watch my video about topics. It is pretty important. All right, so we can add them to the monthly monthly newsletter topic. All right, there we go. So now we've got it associated to a topic and a mailing list. And from here, you can edit certain responses. For example, we can edit the redirection after somebody fills it out. Is it going to take you to a thank you page on your website? If it matches a contact record that's already in Zoho Campaigns and they fill out that form, it can take them to a different spot to be like, wow, thanks. You're already in our system, but now you're getting our newsletter. All sorts of fun things, right? And then if we do advanced options, here you can add tracking. So for example, if you're putting this on a brand new website that you're about to launch and you want to see how much traffic you get from this brand new website, you can add a particular tracking text to it that will show up in more advanced reporting. And then you can also push your information to Zoho CRM. So if you're using the CRM, you can push new contacts into your CRM as leads when they fill out that form. Or you can have them go to a specific workflow. So if you've created an automation, you can, when someone fills out this form, you can go ahead and just automatically drop them into a lead drip campaign on top of being able to send them your monthly newsletter. All right, so once you have figured out exactly how you want to do that, let's give it a new name. We'll call it newsletter sign form. All right, and now what we can do is launch it. So what that does is it allows you to have this sign up form URL, so you can use it to embed into social media. You can also get the code. So this is your standard website code. You would just grab and copy the clipboard, and then you would drop it into whatever website you're updating. You also have a WordPress specific. You have your QR code. You can put it into a button, a specific button. You got your raw HTML. You got your no CSS. So if you really didn't like, or you weren't getting exactly what you wanted from your form in terms of design and style from Zoho Campaigns, you can grab the no CSS portion of the code, and then you can embed that into your website and do all of your styling in your website. No script, and then iframe. So if you wanted to do an iframe embed, if you don't know what an iframe embed, it's totally fine. This is all for kind of like website developer stuff, but you're probably most likely going to be using a website code unless you use WordPress, in which case you want to use the WordPress code. All right, there we go. That's pretty much it for your sign-up forms. Let us know if you have any questions or want any clarification on anything, and we'll see you in the next video. Woggle woggle.